I really need to fix that. I know how to fix that too. You just gotta move it down some. A little. We live? Oh man, we live. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Go Shannon back again. Again, it's been a minute. Tim first one in like last 2 weeks. Yesterday, last night. But I thought I'd come in again before I head off to work. Um, uh, we got some interesting ones today. So you remember yesterday I was talking about a little bit of the conflict in China and Taiwan and Nancy Pelosi and all that other crap, right? Um, amongst those, all this stuff, right? All this, Taiwan and stuff like that. To become, so I forgot. I don't think I read this, and I wanted to relate this to some other things that could be, that could also be affecting this, because there's quite a few things, right? Again, shout out to some of the guys, shout out to the Black Manosphere, shout out to the guys that are, like BGS and Black Ram, talk a little bit about geopolitics and stuff like that. Thought that was a pretty cool rabbit hole dive into. So, um, but then as I was diving into a rabbit hole, I found another rabbit hole of other stuff, right? But regardless, has this, so this, let me get straight to the point. This is how this uh, kind of relates a bit to yesterday or last night vid about China and Taiwan and the U.S. and stuff like that. I think that's why I named it this way. One China, what TSMC Taiwan, and then U.S. shadow. Interesting things, right? So one of them is there talks of like a potential warning if the U.S. were to be cut off from Taiwan chip manufacturing, and go ahead and look up what that is, and then again with another article speaking on it. This is from the Register. This is from CNBC. And U.S. warns losing access to Taiwanese chips could break economy. Uh, Again, same type of wordage. Could cause a potential recession. And then some other things, right? How this affects Apple. Interesting enough, do that rabbit hole. But just to go on. Um, so again, catch up. Taiwan, one of the largest superconductor chip manufacturers on the planet, and uh, there's a lot of U.S. meddling going on in this with Taiwan, and then they getting into Taiwan's issues with China. How this is affecting things, and then we're gonna go back to how this affects Apple, which is U.S. And a larger issue in terms of business, where at overseas manufacturing stuff is kind of biting people in the butt right now, potentially. But a few things to look into for you guys is the CHIPS Act. Congress is nearing key votes to fund the U.S. semiconductor manufacturing, known as the CHIPS Act. It's like a $50 billion thing for loans and stuff like that. I heard that's coming out of our taxpayers' money. Although some companies come, I seen a video that these companies can pay for this crap. Like Orin, I had to find that, but I remember watching the video on that. It was like, man, Orin already invested some billions somewhere else, but they're asking us for loans and shit. But regardless, you own a little research. I'm doing mine. But this is what the CHIPS Act is. Pretty much is right here from CNBC. 52 billion semiconductor incentives. 1.5 billion for Orin. 4-year, 25% tax credit. I ain't gonna watch that. I'm just gonna skim over it a little bit. I'll watch it later. It is 5 minutes, but this is, I put all the links right in the description for y'all boys. Right. So it says Commerce Secretary Gina Raimundo Raimondo warned on Wednesday that the country's dependence on foreign chip manufacturer fabrication, Taiwan, and some others, I believe. But the biggest, I believe, is Taiwan. And I hear there's a European one, maybe potentially. But regardless, might be probably be wrong on that. But puts a risk of recession if it's ever cut off. So another issue, another potentially huge issue is as if we aren't really on the cusp of a potential recession now. If that gets cut off, oh, it's definite. Um, because we're going to lose another major source of revenue or imports or whatever, right? So they're trying to fund the bill, trying to get the bill passed through. I think it passed through the Senate. I mean, you can, by Intel. Intel could design in the U.S., but most of the babies is Taiwan. It's just as important if you allow yourself to think the scenario uh, where the United States no longer had access to chips currently being made in Taiwan. It's a scary scenario. It's a deep, immediate recession, Du says. Well, the Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo says. Um, it was subsidized creation of superconductor manufacturing plants in U.S. I heard even though a lot of those are already because uh, overseas and stuff like that. It's just a front, but we'll get to that later. Let me see. I'm gonna skim through some of these, right? She had the country's manufacturing. She says 9% leading purchase from Taiwan. Ooh, that's important. The country's heavy dependence on foreign chip manufacturing, with what she said is 90% of the leading edge chips purchased from Taiwan, creates a national security risk. And this is what the lady is saying. Who is this lady? Let me see. Let's see. Again, Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo. Let's see what this lady looks like, because this is heavy information, I believe. And if this bill is passed, if y'all in the stocks, those companies can spike up. So if you're on if you're on the stock side of things, that's something interesting to look into. Also, it can go up or down. But this is who this lady is. This is Gina Raimondo, Commerce Secretary. This lady. But regardless, so that's what CNBC is saying. The register, warns losing chips. Taiwan controls most of the world's chip manufacturing capacity, and that worries U.S. mail. It worries Miss Raimondo. Same thing, blah blah blah. See if they say anything different. Again, the Chips Act trying to get 52 billion in loans. That's gonna come out of taxpayer money, maybe, apparently, potentially, probably guaranteed. I think I have to look into that. Blah blah blah. They said that. We read that already. Saying Taiwan is faced with ongoing aggression from China, which claims self-governing island nation. Remember we talked about that before. One China, right? Um, there's tensions. Remember the airspace with Pelosi. This is rising military tensions. Like China's like, we want y'all, we gonna go get y'all. We playing games too long. There was something that I did read. Is one of the hindrances also, but this could be a calling your bluff type of thing here. Right, she backs up TS TSMC Taiwan. Mm-hmm. Controls 90% of the global output for chips, citing industry estimates. Chips include This includes chips designed by companies, such as Apple, your boy, Nvidia, AMD, Qualcomm, and they are used in everyday devices such as smartphones, PCs, laptops I'm reading off of, servers, and there's a whole military kit issue. I believe these chips are also made for EVs, electrical vehicles. So and a lot of this is a lot of these companies are hoping that this Chips Act gets passed. Um, and this leads into, remember the Apple thing, right? Y'all can read that about Ohio. I don't know what fabs are. We have to look into that a little bit later. Intel, for instance, but Intel right now is the biggest one for the U.S. But we get into that later. Get into that. Oh, again, one of the companies. They said Nvidia, Apple, AMD, Qualcomm. Remember with Apple, right? Again, same secretary issues stock warning. So this is from three different sources that they they all talking about the same thing. Right? I had to go ahead and listen to her speak about it specifically so I can find that video for you guys. But they all saying the same thing. They're hoping on this CARES Act, this Chips Act, right? for the 52 billion in subsidies, along with 20 billion in tax credit for U.S. chip making expansion. Those funds will be used for U.S. based fabs run by companies like Intel. The host noted that this is a lot of money to give one industry. This is especially true, she said, when other industries like AI and biotech could also use some taxpayer dollars. Oh, so this is coming out of our taxpayer dollars. See that? See that? And then where did put that? Where did deep recession? Apple same. Intel, Apple, AMD, Nvidia, Intel, Qualcomm. Remember that too. Don't let them skirt out. Again, they confirming 90%. We buy from Taiwan, TSMC. Um, this is what I wanted to read. The U.S. host noted that some of the world's top chip design firms are U.S. based, though which is true. AMD and Apple rely on TSMC for a lot of their silicone designs. Nvidia will be using it for the blah blah blah. Yeah, blah blah blah. Just let you warning. If you allow yourself to, all right, a deep will incur and by to protect our is a deep immediate recession is an inability to protect ourselves by making military equipment. So that could hamper some military, yeah, like before, even the military defense stuff. Um, they're saying that we need to make this in America, so we're not dependent on other countries. And again, that's the Chip Act. You see how very slim down just passed now. Right, the slim down version passed the Senate this week, and this is as of yesterday, 22 July 22, and so time on August. Let's see, Congress gonna be on vacation, so y'all can do with that what you will. Mm, so yeah, yeah. So this is how one of the things I would hurt Apple. I hope y'all still with me. I hope y'all still with me. Y'all still with me. This is the last one. I'll let y'all go. Apple's disaster scenario is a real possibility. Says U.S. and UK security services. Chinese takeover if they take over Taiwan. This is why they giving them boys 108 million in weapons, and they want to protect them. The Indo-Pacific plan, that too. So here's let me go ahead and right gave an so they gave an unprecedented warning that this could not this not only possible that but that China has been taking steps to prepare for this. If it happened, it will lead to total disruption of the vast bulk of Apple's resources, manufacturing resources. Why? Because um, why? Right. The global directly no. Why the risk exists now? They said it. I want to get straight to the point. Right. The scenario itself. The two, right? The first scenario is the company, the Cupertino, I think that's in California, right? The company Apple is highly dependent on Taiwan itself. Multiple of the series, included A, M, S series, are all fabricated by your boys, Taiwan, the Taiwan Super Simi. Yeah, you hear me again? Yeah, my thing cut off, but we back, right? This series is fabricated by the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, your boys. Almost all of this production takes place in the country's plants within Taiwan. An armed conflict would completely cut that off by a devastating impact. It would include massive disruption in its manufacturing operations. Second, it is inevitable that the U.S. and most of the rest of the world would respond to a Chinese takeover of Taiwan the same way it has to the Russian invasion of Ukraine with sanctions. Um, if these sanctions were right, As wide-ranging as the ones imposed on Russia, Apple would no longer be able to give any business to Chinese companies. They'd be at war with them, um, and which is where the vast majority of Apple products are manufactured. The iPhones, iPads, watches, Macs, greatest volume of Apple product is assembled in China. This is why MI5 and the FBI, for the first time, to raise this scenario as a real and present danger is something that must be terrifying to executives. That's how big this is. And one of the main reasons China isn't really attacking is because America made this Taiwan Relations Act. You know what I'm saying? Saying that they are legally obligated, creates a legal obligation for the U.S. to help Taiwan defend itself against a Chinese invasion. So how that relates to this is why China's pissed off. This is why China is pissed off. One China, but the shadow U.S. is fucking with they internal issues here. And with this visit, another U.S. Fucking with China. This is why China is you know what I'm saying, flying. This is why China is flying some of their stuff into the they ain't flying to the no fly zone, but they're nervous. They're flying into their space, right? Although it's not illegal, you know, again, they coming dangerously close. Again, they told you, hey, we may accompany her. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this, so the war in Ukraine with Russia in them, that's huge. This is also huge. We talking billions of dollars, baby, billions, billions. But I gotta go. I gotta get ready. I hope y'all, you know, enjoyed the little rabbit hole today. And shout out to Black Ram and them, PGS. Shout out to Dr. Gasson Johnson and you guys. But I'll be out. Hey, have fun. If y'all, you know, y'all find anything else out, you know, let me know in the comment section. And see you later.